Let's talk about how to count rows in crochet because this is one of the most common beginner questions I get. So the first tip when learning how to count your rows in crochet is that each trip across or around, if you're doing a round, counts as a row. So let's just say we were doing a row of half double crochets here. I've chained one and I've turned. This is going to be one row of half double crochets starting at the beginning, and then when I've gotten all the way to the other side, that counts as one row of crochet. So keep that in mind. One trip across your project. So I've just completed one row of half double crochets because I went from here to here. So that's one row. Now each stitch is going to look a little bit different in how you count the rows. This is a single crochet stitch. So if you're counting this, here's one row, here's two rows, 3, 4. Notice if I hold this up, you can kind of see the holes where the stitches were worked into. Hopefully you can see the light coming through those stitches, and that's what I'm looking for. So there's one row, two rows, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 was the one that worked into the chain. For the half double crochet, it's a little bit looser of a stitch. So here's one row of half double crochets. Here's 2 rows of half double crochets, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Again, you could look for the holes that the row was worked into. If I hold it out a little bit, you can see each of those holes for that row of stitches. So there's 1, here's 2, there's 3. So you could look for those holes that the rows were worked into as well. Double crochet, again, we get to be a little bit taller of a stitch. Again, you're kind of looking for where did I work my stitch into. And you can see my stitches are kind of ending right here. So that's the bottom of the row. So there's 1. If I look here, here's where those stitches are ending. So there's 2. If I look here, here's where this row stitches were ending. There's 3, 4, and then this is the 5th and final row. Again, if I hold it up a little bit, you can kind of see it a little bit better where those stitches are starting or ending at right here in this space right here. And you can see that row kind of if you hold it out a little bit more. Treble crochet, same idea. Taller stitch. This one gets a little bit easier to see where your rows end because there's kind of a line going on where it doesn't happen with the rest of the stitches. So you can see this line right here. And you can see this line right here for the treble crochet. Counting rows can be easy, but it can also be difficult depending on the stitch that you're using. You just need to get to know your stitches and kind of see where your stitches end, what they look like. If you need slower, more detailed crochet tutorials, you could check out my blog, hopecornerfarm.com, or my YouTube channel, Hope Corner Farm Crochet, where I take this and other stitches a lot slower. And I hope you have a wonderful day.